our day 2 keynote. We're going to start with a video, and then we'll call up our keynote. Okay. Good looking.
Okay. I've been fighting online scams for 25 years.
And I have been counting for over 2,500 years.
Hey, you don't look a day over 2,200.
We are here to talk to you about the power of counting to 9.
Counting to 9 before you click, download, or share can help you spot and avoid scams.
So remember,
count before you click.
You're natural.
Folks, thanks. It might be clear to you that in my attempt to get the word out better, I've completely abandoned any attempts at dignity. And in general, I've outsourced the practice of any social skills to the count. And this allows me to focus on my core branding, which is primarily about social awkwardness. He also reminds me that I should leave comedy to the professionals. Everyone here understands the problem. I'm not going to try to tell you about it. That would be a bad use of your time. Where I'm focusing is on trying to get everyone, ultimately everyone in the country, to participate and to be part of the solution. But when it comes to critical infrastructure, I'm trying to focus on the groups who can actually do something on a state-by-state basis. That is, the solution requires smart people of goodwill to work together. I'm not the right guy to do this, considering that my celebrity spokespuppet has considerably more charisma and personality than I do. But what I'm doing is supporting the Undisruptible 27 effort. And with relation to that, the Cyber Resilience Corps, which is operated by the Berkeley Center for Long-Term Cyber, along with their efforts, just running the consortium of cyber clinics. The mission today here is about protecting the health and safety of Americans everywhere by protecting water supplies, particularly in connection with hospital systems. So the deal is to build this Cyber Resilience Corps along with related organizations so that we get people who can do serious, useful volunteering to work together to make things happen. Further along, we need people to tell the stories of what's working and what's not working in terms of protecting what happens locally. We need help, sometimes financial help, from the kind of people that have too much money, and I'm working on that, but so far the count hasn't been all that helpful. I do take this personally. I'm committed. From one perspective or another, I've been doing this for over 25 years. That's the scam fighting part. Since everyone understands scams, everyone's being approached by scammers. So that's a good way to get started. Hence this effort on engaging the celebrity spokespuppet to speak where I can't. Again, I realize I'm not really the guy to do this. That really does require social skills beyond me. The only thing I've learned for sure is to know when to stop talking. Thank you.
We play a video.
Sure.
Thank you. So this undisruptible effort and this joint collaboration with the ICS Village would not occur without Craig's funding. Last year, he pledged his second wave of $3.2 million to see us through the 2027 elevated threat context. We weren't sure if this crazy idea would work, so we want to give a little bit of an example that we've gone from Sesame Street to the halls of Congress. So here's a tiny bit of the impact this crazy little idea has had.
There's an old saying, water is life, and this is exactly what we're talking about today. A cyber attack on water systems could lead to widespread ramifications. It could also severely impact emergency response operations, hospitals, firefighters, and food production.
Yet, the systems that we depend on every day are increasingly vulnerable.
In January 2024, the water system in Muleshoe, Texas, was reportedly hacked, leading to thousands of gallons of water spilling into the street. What concerns me is not just that these systems are being targeted, but how unevenly prepared they are to respond across the country.
In February 2023, PRC-affiliated Volt Typhoon compromised a Massachusetts water facility.
The idea that Iran, China, or Russia could shut off or poison our drinking water sounds like a plot from a blockbuster thriller. But unfortunately, it's a reality.
Outrageously, Chinese military units known as Volt Typhoon are in our systems now. Not eventually, not maybe, right now.
Given the increasing activity from Iran, China, you name it, what's the biggest threat in your mind?
Initially, they were looking at military bases, the ability to degrade and delay our forced mobilization. Even a day or two could advantage their advance on Taiwan. But the second wave was non-combatant civilian infrastructure, like the 10,000-person town in Littleton, Massachusetts. And the purpose of that leg was to sow chaos on civilian infrastructure to undermine public support for our intervention. Most of the successful compromises from Volt Typhoon into U.S. water have been through known edge devices or even security remote access technologies, which have CISA known exploited vulnerabilities associated with them.
You've told us that hospitals can only operate on 2 to 4 hours once water is cut off. If Chinese hackers activated its access in Houston today, walk me through what the following 72 hours would look like.
A typical hospital uses about 250 gallons per bed per day, so it's unbelievable amounts of water. So it's surgery, scrubbing, sanitation, hydrating patients, chemical tests for labs. Air conditioning is one of the top users. At some point, especially in the heat of the summer, you're gonna have to evacuate people who just had surgery or might be on life support. It's a pretty harrowing thing.
What can CISA and sector risk management agencies like EPA do to work with private industry to identify and eliminate pre-positioned cyber attacks?
When I look at how difficult it is for one of our best funded water systems, one of our peak level of operations for cybersecurity, they too are worried they can't keep pace with the Chinese military. Let's mitigate the full extent of damage. These are things like making a circuit breaker, such that a water hammer, which is a destructive force of turning the valve on or off too quickly, it can shatter pipes. So what do? Let's have a pressure sensor that if it goes over a certain level, it disables the pump. But we can keep the highest consequence failures from doing damage. So the threat may come from cyber, but the solutions come from engineering. It's not always shields up. Sometimes it's connections down.
How can we make sure that small and rural systems get the resources that they need to prevent being the next headline?
My project Undisruptible 27 is an example of applied research and how I'm fighting back. We're identifying familiar, affordable, and effective engineering mitigations so that if a punch is thrown from any predator, we know that we're able to take that punch. We're innovating narrowly with 12 U.S. hospital communities such that we can replicate widely to the rest. A workshop in New Hampshire, utility produced 5 mitigations. Something like this pressure release valve that can maybe be a shock absorber from one of these water hammers. Let me wrap up by saying, we are prone, we are prey, but we are not powerless. We hope Undisruptible lights the way for others looking to develop actionable solutions in this most dangerous period.
So thank you for making this possible. It's one thing when a bunch of crazy hackers are talking about it. You could hear our song coming out of the mouths of Democrats and Republicans. This has finally reached the consciousness, and it would not have happened but for your support. And at least one of those 12 pilots wanted me to give you a gift, which we will send to your house. Can we move over a little bit? Can we get it on the screen? Okay. This is a broken pressure gauge, but they haven't met you, but they talk about you, and they're so grateful that they're getting this free help and free education that might make their families safer, their town safer, their state and their country safer. So we'd like to send you a fancier version of that, maybe as a trophy. Okay. Very good.